The story begins with Axel, a super secret robot dog invented by Andrik, a scientist working for Crane Systems. This robot features cutting-edge artificial intelligence technology. Andrik created Axel to serve the US Army, equipping it with all the necessary features to be a faithful war dog. The scientists who developed it gave it the codename Axel, short for Attack, Exploration, Logistics. Miles is a young boy who loves riding bikes, and one day he participates in a bike race accompanied by his father, who runs a repair shop. Miles always wins the race with his exceptional biking skills, defeating his competitor Sam, a rich spoiled brat. After Miles wins the race, Sam invites him to a party and tries to befriend him. On the other hand, Andrik worries about his robotic dog, which has suddenly gone missing. He's worried as the US government has given him a deadline to present his military robot. Miles is interested in a girl named Sarah, who is also a friend of Sam. At the party, they both start talking to each other and instantly feel a connection. The next day, Sam asks Miles to join him and his friends for an all-boys fun bike stunt session. Miles accepts the offer, not knowing the true intentions of Sam. Sam talks to Miles, distracting him while his friends sneakily add another liquid to Miles' bike fuel tank. Later, when Miles starts to showcase cool stunts, his fuel runs out and his bike crashes. Sam records the whole thing and uploads the major failure to ridicule Miles and earn views from the video. The group leaves Miles on the deserted land, who lies injured after the crash. Miles gets up to search for help when he comes across an abandoned garage. Miles walks in after sensing some movement. He comes across Axel and quickly runs away, scared of the dangerous-looking dog. Miles rushes to his bike as Axel follows him like a loyal dog. While the chase continues, Axel crashes into a dump and gets stuck there. Miles stops his bike and decides to help him instead. He tries to pet the robot while helping him get up. Miles quickly handles Axel like any pet dog, and in turn is marked a safe prospect by the robot's computer system. Miles and Axel connect with the help of the built-in robot's owner pairing technology, installed to represent the dog's loyalty feature. Sarah worries about Miles and asks Sam to add his location to her phone. Sam adds the location of the deserted land where the boys were performing bike stunts. Miles takes Axel in an abandoned container and tries replacing its broken parts with his bike's spare parts. He fixes its damaged outer shell and then plays with it, racing his bike and using the desert's dumpland as his playground. They run after each other, having a good owner-pet moment. Andrik and his lab assistant start sensing Axel's movement in their computer system. They use Axel's installed camera to detect his location. However, Andrik decides not to indulge as he sees the dog playing with a young man on his screen. Andrik plans on using Miles as his human test subject to experiment with Axel's behavior with humans. Sarah drives her truck to track Miles. Axel senses the vehicle and quickly runs to Sarah, wildly howling and jumping on her truck. Sarah starts panicking, trying to start her car. Miles comes rushing and calms the wild Axel, ensuring that Sarah is a friend and means no harm. Sarah tries to understand the whole scene while Miles enlightens her. He tells Sarah about finding the dog and helping it. Sarah finally feels comfortable as she pets Axel too. Axel detects Sarah and runs a facial recognition, marking her as a safe prospect. Axel automatically connects to both of their mobiles. As the night falls, Sarah and Miles talk about their personal lives. Axel detects the emotions of the two and suddenly plays a song for them. Axel starts projecting cool romantic lights as Miles and Sarah dance under the sky. Andrik's assistant tries to convince him to retrieve the dog, but Andrik refuses and wants to see how sophisticated and calm the robot dog can get. Miles and Sarah take Axel to a safer place, hiding it under a cloth at the back of the truck. On their way, they stop at a gas station, where Axel hacks the gas machine system and ATM, generating free fuel and unlimited cash for the two. Sarah collects all the money, and they all run from the station before someone catches them. Sarah and Miles take Axel to an abandoned hideout that Sarah uses as an art studio. Sarah spray paints a feather on the wall, and Axel uses his laser light to outline her drawing. Axel suddenly starts projecting a screen that plays the AI-generated clip about his formation and military details. Sam arrives at the studio and confronts Sarah because he's jealous of her relationship with Miles. Out of jealousy, Sam tries to attack Miles, but Axel senses the danger and defends them. Miles takes advantage of the situation and warns Sam to avoid Sarah. The whole situation infuriates Sarah, who's angry with Miles for worsening the situation. She reminds Miles that her family has nowhere to live and has to stay at Sam's place, which is why they can't turn against his family. Miles asks Sarah to save herself from the danger that comes with Axel and leave, but she decides to stay and help. Sarah and Miles leave Axel at the studio and go to Miles's home to tell his father, Chuck, about the robot. Chuck advises them to return it to its owners. Meanwhile, Sam gathers his friends and returns to the studio to deal with the dog and take revenge on Miles. Sam takes out his flamethrower weapon and burns the poor robot dog. Andric sees the whole scene from his lab screen and panics. He tries to contact people to take control of the situation. Sarah sees the live recording of Axel on her connected phone and quickly informs Miles. The duo rushes to the hideout to save Axel, but unfortunately they arrive too late, seeing the Axel survey damaged and broken. They try to fix Axel, but the dog gives them an emergency signal, a location to have him repaired. At the same time, a man sent by Andric shows up at Chuck's house and demands to know the location of the device controlling Axel. Chuck becomes suspicious and outsmarts the man, demanding answers of his own. The man reveals that he's looking for Axel. Miles and Sarah take Axel to a garage, where the robot starts repairing itself. Andric discovers its location and sends a team to retrieve it. The agents arrive and try to capture the robot while it's still being repaired. Luckily, the repairs are finished just in time, and Axel subdues the operatives. As Axel reboots, he remembers being burned with a flamethrower and races off to confront Sam. Miles and Sarah hurry to stop him. When Axel arrives at the party where Sam and his friends are, Sam again tries to burn him with the flamethrower, but it runs out of fuel. Miles and Sarah arrive at the party and manage to convince Axel not to harm Sam. Suddenly, a swarm of drones arrives and disables Axel. Miles and Sarah are captured and taken to Crane Systems. Andric attempts to override Miles's control of Axel but fails. When Miles refuses to disclose the location of the remote, Andric reprograms Axel to attack Sarah. However, Sarah convinces Axel not to harm her by reminding him of the feather she drew at their hideout. Captain Weber, Andric's military superior who had asked him to work on the robot project, arrives. Andric tries to escape, but is caught and arrested for endangering the lives of humans and letting dangerous machinery out. Realizing they're surrounded, Sarah allows herself to be captured. Miles and Axel manage to escape, but are pursued by a helicopter. They race through hilly terrain until Miles falls from his motorbike. Miles orders Axel to keep running, and the robot obeys, trying to get as far as possible before self-destructing. Before finishing the self-destruct sequence, Axel looks at Miles to say the final goodbye. 6 weeks later, Andric is imprisoned for endangering civilians and violating national security. Weber visits him and informs him that Axel's code has resurfaced, wanting to know its intentions. Sarah and Miles have received scholarships from the military and are attending college to keep an eye on them and ensure their silence. While spending a day at the beach, studying and playing with their new puppy, Sarah hands Miles an envelope. Inside is a note from his dad saying, "Is this yours?" Miles flips the envelope, and the remote for Axel falls into his hand. He presses the button and the device uploads an Axel app onto their phones, and they realize that Axel has survived and is trying to find them again. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more amazing videos.